Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
AC, how you doing, man?
Gotta sneeze off. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. A little tired, but who isn't, right? Had some coffee.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I sorry, I apologize. I waited till the last minute, but I did post a little announcement in our Discord as well. So hopefully, we'll get some interested parties over to join you.
Oh, excellent. I just see that right now. Awesome. Thanks, brother. Yeah. Any amount of help is a great amount of help. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've been pretty thorough with the updates, though. I'm interested to see how many people join with, live questions, but you got a lot of info out there, so that's good. You keeping everybody really informed.
Thank you, brother. And honestly, like it's kind of funny. Like all I ever wanted was just like a way to just be myself and ramble on. I'm like, hey guys, I got all these great ideas, and like it seems to be coming true finally. So yeah, I try my best.
There you go. Hey, but they're listening. They're listening. You're getting more numbers and people joining and partnering up and stuff. So that's good, man. Everybody likes what they're hearing. That's a good thing.
100%. And I'm truly blessed and grateful for every single person. And even though it's not the most popular project out there, we still have like what 90 people in here.
Oh, you got to give it time, man. You just got
It
to give
doesn't
it time.
matter. I'm 100%. And I'm truly grateful for everybody, and it means a lot. Every single person, like commenting, any little emoji, anything, I'm greatly appreciative.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Same here. But well, I'm gonna sit back. Let me adjust my settings here. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute, adjust some settings, and get myself organized, and then I'll start grilling you with more questions.
Not a
No,
problem.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I welcome them. Oh, what's up, Jossie?
How's it going, bro?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Excited to do this AMA.
Doing a little, doing a little laundry.
Nice. I'm glad it could be that little background noise. Help you get through that laundry. I hate doing laundry. Yeah, so I mean, I have a couple stuff that I'm gonna go over, and again, this is gonna be recorded. So, even though it's just you two for now, I hope other people pop in, and even if they don't, this will be recorded. And yeah, please feel free to interrupt me and ask questions, right? Because as lengthy as I can make the updates for you guys, that's all coming from me. So now I have my own platform, just talk and talk and talk. Please interrupt me. So yeah, let's get started without further ado. Um, so something that I've been working on as of a day ago, I believe, um, is just trying to get a way to get more information out there and be in more places at once, right? So it seems like a popular idea amongst crypto projects. I'm trying to start some Medium articles, and I think that would be really cool. Um, more lengthy than Twitter, less of a commitment than YouTube, right? Because you could read at your own pace. And yeah, just have a series of informative Medium articles. See how good my writing skills are. Thank God for autocorrect, right? But yeah, I'm excited about those. And it'll also be a good way to point people in the right direction if they have questions on a specific mechanic. Um, they can either watch the video I put out, or if they just prefer words, then I can send them to the Medium articles. Considering everybody likes to intake information differently, right? So I'm excited to write those, although they do feel like homework in high school. I'm still excited to write all those out. So that's that. And next up, I want to give an update on one of our new partners, Pi Protocol. I'm so hyped to be working with them. As you guys know, I'm really excited about a project called TCG World, which is one of the metaverse offerings that I'm giving our Gen 1 holders. And I'll go into all the different metaverse spaces that I'm going to be offering at the end, just because it's the first AMA, right? Um, but yeah, Pi Protocol overlaps as far as like having the same developers as the people who are going to be taking over some of the TCG World staking. And yeah, I got in touch with their marketer, Sagoni. He's been a really great person, really great resource, and it's been an honor talking with him. And he got me in touch with the CEO, Gordon, and he's a really cool guy. When we started talking, we have some similar backgrounds in terms of how we started our projects. I told him like, hey, I saw what everybody was doing in the crypto space, and I saw the project called Legacy, how they're really, you know, community focused, like individual focused, very decentralized. What's up, Tim? How are you doing? And I just wanted to make my own project, and I felt like Legacy was a way that I could try to make a project and it would be fostered via their mechanics, right? Um, and I was like, yeah, it took 6 months to create it, and it's been live for about like another 3 or so months, and I'm just a guy trying to make something of himself and something that he found a niche in. So, and he's like, I feel the same way. I taught myself developing for like a year or so, and I made this happen, and I became a lead developer in like 2 years with a couple projects. I'm like, that's awesome. So we both understand the grind and such. Um, so that's gonna be a really cool partnership because ideally I wanted to have people stake to get the essence token early on. That way, while I'm building, they can receive other token. But since this is my first, I guess token creation, right? I didn't know some of the small like mechanics involved with actually launching a token. For example, actually putting up the liquidity on the back end for there to be some buys and sells, right? So um, it seems like the consensus is you put like hundreds of thousands of dollars as the liquidity, and then people can buy and sell using that, right? So that is going to be in the plans, of course, in the future. But for right now, since we can't do staking at the current moment, Pi Protocol will be allowing us to stake our planet beasts. Let me see if I can mute Tim. We got some noise going on here. There we go. All right, cool. Um, so yeah, so Pi Protocol is going to enable us to stake with them, and they have a really genius solution on how they're able to benefit both like us and essentially allowing us to just stake without too much. I think there might be like a small like $30 upfront cost, but you would get like a multitude back more than $30. I think I don't have the exact numbers. I just remember that was like a concept floating around. Like there might be initial like small cost just to like initiate it. But essentially, it's just giving us free money for staking our planet base over on their protocol. And what they do is they, like I mentioned in the update, they let you borrow some of their native token, which is the Pi token, Pi Protocol token or PIP, and they swap that for BNB and take the BNB and go to the Pancake Swap, Cake BNB liquidity pool, staking, farming, yield, the DeFi solution that involves Cake and BNB. And over the course of the time, the smart contract is just getting rewards, getting rewards, getting rewards while the NFT is staked. And then whenever you decide to unstake, it'll just reverse the process and get the BNB back, sell that back for Pi, and that whole time while the NFT was staked, it was gaining a profit. So when you unstake, you have gained a profit. And since everything is happening through them and on their platform, and they have something like small fees for using their platform, they also benefit as well. So it was a really cool and ingenious system to essentially benefit from giving projects in a way like kind of like free money, which was wild, right? But I don't want to be a project to just say, hey, you guys benefit from giving people free money. Cool, work with me. Like that's really not how I operate. So aside from the whole transactions taking place on their platform benefiting them, I also want to do more, right? So I have experience with video editing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a series of videos explaining their protocol in in a more simple, uh, well thought out way, kind of how I do my regular videos. Because they do have one video, but it kind of like presents the information in a way where if you already have a good understanding of DeFi, then you can understand it, right? But if you're a completely new person, or even if you're not, but you just don't really go into DeFi that much, you just really invest in coins and that's about it. It might be hard to follow, right? So making some free content for them that helps explain their protocol, which ultimately at the end of the day, if they have new people coming in, they can just direct them to those videos. That will be of benefit to them. And likewise, their project is on the BNB, Binance Smart Chain. So because ours is not, my goal is, in order to be able to work with them, is create a separate NFT line on the BNB, the Binance Smart Chain, and essentially is going to be a one-for-one representation of your Planet Beast, right? So you won't be able to get one unless you've bought a Planet Beast, right? And considering our unfortunately low activity rate, I can handle these manually, right? So it won't be an automated process where someone maybe could game the system. Like you will show me that you've bought a Planet Beast, and I will airdrop you the one for one Binance Smart Chain token that you can then take on their platform to stake, right? And if staking comes any faster, then that'd be great, right? You can stake with them and you can stake with us. So that's like a double benefit. And they were asking me, okay, but if you're going to be doing the airdrops manually, like what happens if you have so much demand that you can't keep up with people asking for the one-to-one representation on the Binance Smart Chain side? And I should have told him, like, I would absolutely love to have that problem. That would be the best problem.
Yeah, no, that's a good problem to have, right?
I was like, that's the like, if anybody could say I would like to have a problem, like that would be it, you know. So yeah, so that's kind of how their protocol works and how we'll kind of be mutually beneficial with each other.
Can I jump in with a question?
Yes, you may.
I mean, that that sounds great that you're able to exchange, your skills for their services.
Yes.
So that's a really good. That sounds like a really good deal. But you already answered the one question: the fact that they're not on the same protocol. So technically, you're not staking your Polygon NFT. You're staking a BNB version of your Polygon NFT, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. It's a separate line, but it represents it.
Right. So my other question before you said that, my other question was because I've never staked an NFT. I've staked, Ethereum, but I've never staked an actual NFT. So I wasn't sure how that worked. My question was going to be if you stake your NFT, are you still able to use it to access the game that you've got planned? Now, it sounds like if they're on multiple blockchains, that's not going to be a conflict, but um, you'll still be able to jump in the game and use your NFT and all of that on the Polygon chain, right? Is the game going to be on the Polygon chain, or by the time that comes out, is it going to be on Legacy?
Great questions, and thank you for asking those. So real quick to have that clarification to provide some clarity. Bumps. Um, yeah, and NFTs, since it stands for non-fungible token, they're the same thing as regular crypto tokens, right? So in regards to staking it, they're all tokens, whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, or an NFT, right? So the staking works in a similar way, right? Just via the smart contract. Um, and I'm planning on making it so that when you stake the Planet Beast on my end, like the non-Binance Smart Chain, the game will recognize the NFT being staked, and therefore, it appears in the game, right? As opposed to you just like holding it in your wallet. That way, you can generate some activity there, and it's a win-win, right? Because if you stake it, you get the essence token. But yes, it'll be on the Legacy chain as it launches, right? Because a big portion of legacy success is being a well recognized and highly used blockchain, right? So a portion of the benefit that Planet Beast will give to legacy is generating a bunch of transactions on the legacy network and people utilizing and buying USDL, right? I have a list of the different ways in which Planet Beast will generate a lot of transactions. I'm gonna move on, but if you guys want me to list that list, just let me know. Say the list, let me know. Does that answer all your questions?
Yeah, I think it did. Yep, that makes sense.
Excellent, awesome. And just ending with that Pi protocol thing. The BSC side, um, I want like at least the image, like whatever the NFT looks like, to also have the Pi protocol logo, right? It's only right. They were saying, oh, you could just stick the logo maybe in the corner or something. I was like, no, it'd be like 50-50. If it's like a coin, for example, the coin will like rotate and you see the Pi protocol logo on one side and the Planet Beast logo on one side, so announcing to everybody, hey, if you buy a Planet Beast, you can stake it for this much return. Showing the image in that post, for example, is also considered, marketing for the Pi protocol, right? So that's another way in which I can benefit them, right? As opposed to just like the skills of trading my video editing skills. So, very beneficial partnership for both sides, and I'm really looking forward to working with them. And if I have just general questions, they're happy to answer those as well. They're really great people and a great team, So. So moving forward, we have updates on the fighting mechanics, right? So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing from Planet Beast is like, the bigger moves and like the characters and the designs, right? But ultimately, it's meant to be a game, right? And I always like to stress that a lot of projects are just projects with poorly thought out utility. And in order to gain more utility in an easy way, they just create a game, right? So they're a project first with a game tacked on second to kind of force a utility, whereas Planet Beast is the other way around. It's always and first and foremost meant to be a game, and then added utility, like for example, the metaverse spaces is tacked on top of that, right? So that being said, because this is a game first, it's very easy to start to get different aspects of the game going and utilizing the token and actually making the utility token a utility token as opposed to again finding BS ways to force utility, right? So, but part of making it a game first involves actually making it fun and making it work and making it balanced, right? So, like I said in those other posts, I have some gamer friends, and they've actually helped out a lot. It's kind of a situation where it's like you're having coffee with someone and they bring up a topic and you're like, oh yeah, I have a friend who does that. He's just like wicked smart. He's just like a genius in that thing. But yeah, he was just like my classmate. It's kind of like that, right? So they're way, leagues better than you at one thing, and that's just because they really enjoy it as a hobby. And like I said, don't knock anybody who's willing to help you. They could offer a lot of value, and they truly did. We had a 3-hour call on the fighting mechanics, and I just want to go over that briefly, considering how it's new, and it might be slightly different from what is shown in the trailer. So the first difference, let me pull it up here, is the actual like types of attacks. Initially, there's just like a light attack, a heavy attack. Those are separated for obvious reasons, right? Light attack is quicker, less damage, right? So you can be more agile and nimble with it. And if the case presents itself where that's a better option in the moment, then you do that. Heavy attack for the opposite reason. Blocking and dodging are not automatic. You have to actually time them, making this a real-time skill-based game, making it fun and thoughtful and interactive and competitive. And then the special, right? The special is, powerful attack and has like a special ability attacked onto it, like a stun or a burn or a poison or reducing your stamina, what have you, right? But as far as the actual mechanics, we had some issues where we were like, okay, we should make it more expansive because it could get boring really quickly. You just kind of bash each other over the head a bunch of times, and that gets boring pretty quickly, right? So adding like stuff like range and like items and like the ability to charge up your attack for a different type of ability is definitely a easy way to spice things up, right? But then how would that work? Because then the range guy could just always fire from the back, and since he's not getting into the midst of battle, don't take as much damage, right? Or maybe they have to charge up in order to make up for the range, right? Maybe they can shoot across a certain distance, but not that far, so then they have to charge. But maybe the melee guy doesn't have to charge, and he can just kind of clear the map. But then if you can clear the map instantaneously, that kind of defeats the purpose and makes the melee guy overpowered. And then which one should be more, right? If the ranged guy is going to be at a disadvantage because he has to charge, then does his damage have to go like up in comparison? So there was a lot of things that have to be worked on. But what I've settled on, and these are just the major two things, so I won't continue to ramble. The first thing is there's going to be different types of light and heavy attacks, and those are going to both be classified as like range and melee. So just as like an example, like each beast will have 4 different types of light attacks and 4 different types of melee attacks, and for both light and heavy, right? So you get to choose your play style, and maybe each one will have an advantage or a disadvantage, um, making it a lot more modular and dynamic and expansive just for light and heavy attacks. Right? So that's something I'm looking at, having to make like let's say roughly 4 variations of light and heavy, so 8 times 6 different characters. Then thinking of effects and how balanced the damage is and what have you. And then as you saw in the trailer, there's 3 like spaces that you can go on. I guess front row, mid row, back row. I'm thinking of scrapping that altogether to kind of fix that whole issue of the melee guy crossing the whole range of battle, right? And I think I'm going to go for a multi-lane system, maybe like 9, 10 lanes across the entire field. And the left side of your keyboard is going to be your main attacks: light, heavy, block, dodge, special. And the right side, where the arrows are going to be where you can change lanes in the middle of battle, right? So you can actually move across the field while using the arrow keys to make up for that range, and it'll make it easier to apply range and damage to the characters. Because when everything was so like set in stone and static, it was kind of getting like difficult to make things work. But having everything modular forces the well, it doesn't force, but it allows the moves to stay where they are and not have to accommodate for the fixed range. The different types of light and heavy attacks can have their own range, and it's up to you to actually get within that range using the arrow keys, right? So still some work to be done there, but those are the major changes. And I'm really excited about those changes because I think it makes the game a lot more interactive, fun, dynamic, and like I said, competitive. And then on top of that, we have to see how these work with multiple enemies, because a lot of this balancing and making it fun and competitive is for the player versus player scene. But yeah, so those are the new stuff that are being worked on in the background. Any questions before I continue to ramble?
Oh man, it sounds very comprehensive.
You're telling me. I'm like, why is this just a little fun 2D game all of a sudden like the equivalent of like a multi-million dollar like game franchise? This is getting ridiculous, but it makes things more um, rewarding at the end of it, going through all this this comprehension. So
Plus, it's I mean, if it's too simple, they're not going to play it continuously. They're just going to master it and move on. So
exactly right. The replay value is super important.
yeah, yeah,
They can't just like beat the game and then never come back to it. Right? Defeats the purpose.
yep, sounds
Um,
good.
yes, and I already went over how the game is going to benefit Legacy, getting transactions from buying characters, crafting the items, entering like tournaments and such, right? So as well as something that's really cool, right? If I can acquire like some sort of like funding or what have you, I that would obviously go to the game's development, right? And then I have a portion of the fund set aside for the development, right? So whatever is already done that the funds are not used for, I can use that to buy some legacy and then stake that legacy, right? Which is of course helping the protocol, but also helping us, right? Because if I can buy legacy using development funds, since some of it was really helped to be developed from some sort of funding, um, me staking the legacy will also generate USDL for Planet Beast, right? So it also help us continue our work, as they say, like in perpetuity, right? So that's really cool. And moving forward, who's in here? Right? I gotta switch back to Discord. All right. So just you two, do you have any suggestions for the different types of variations for the different NFT types for the Air and Water, Planet Beast, Aerodise, and Wartide? I'd just like to hear my community suggestions. Whether you want like a Viking hat, a pinwheel, a magnifying glass. You guys have any fun ideas that you would like to see on a Planet Beast? And if you're not, that's fine. That's something I stressed in the beginning. I want to hear from the community. I want something, you know, I want a space where people can feel free to voice their opinions and their opinions actually get taken into consideration. Like, oh wow, I said maybe this thing should happen, and it actually happened. Like my exact idea was in the game. That's so cool. I think that's a really cool idea, right? So, if you guys have nothing now, then please let me know in the chat.
Will do.
Excellent, excellent. And then the territories, right? That was something that I thought was really cool, right? Your own little kind of piece of the planet of Elementis that you can own and work stuff there. You can invite people, decorate it. I thought that was something that was cool. But it was kind of like without other things set in place, it was hard to kind of fully visualize that. So I'm thinking about tacking on the crafting ability to make the resources that you find in game into the NFT items that will power up your beast and have various different effects. I was thinking about having the territories be linked to that, right? So you could buy the resources and buy the items, right, from the shop, which of course gives more utility to the essence token. But only those who own one of these territories, which already is going to benefit you, and I think I'm going to have it so that owning a territory also gets you more essence. The same way you would stake a planet beast to get essence. You can only craft the resources that you find if you own a territory, and they're not gonna be that like expensive, right? I'm floating an idea like maybe like $50, right? Considering how some NFTs go for like upwards of $500, I think that's a fair ask, and that's another way to generate revenue for the company and expand the use cases. I'm not sure if I want to make it so that you need to spend the essence token in order to actually physically craft the item. I was saying that might be too much. Like Essence will have multiple use cases, but then I don't want to spread it so thin that it's like you can't really do any of it because everything costs Essence, right? but that's also something positive for the token. It creates more demand and buy pressure. So I'm still working through the mechanics on that. And lastly, the different metaverse spaces that I'll be offering. In the meantime, since I was developing the project and of course relying on sales of NFTs to build out the project and sales being a little slow now, I wanted a way to kind of give value back to the community, before everything on my end is finished, right? So I decided to buy some metaverse spaces. Now, it's kind of like a catch-22. The current metaverse spaces are super expensive, and to be honest, since they're the first rendition of like a metaverse, they're, kind of low quality. As far as like the graphics, like some of them are like, you know, I know people really love NFT worlds and they're doing great things. But I believe it was literally based on the same thing as Minecraft, right? So everything's made of squares and low polygon graphics where everything's kind of blocky. Nowhere near something like a normal video game would have, right? So I don't really like that. I want like a quality metaverse where you can see the facial features on the character and details of the world. So the three that I've chosen and I've bought land for are the Ethereum Towers, Network, and TCG World. The Ethereum Towers are going to be part of a project called Ethereum Worlds, where they built out an expansive world. I think like a resort and like a beach and a park and stuff like that. But they're starting with the towers. That's like the home base. And you can get an apartment there. You can network. Some NFT projects own like an entire floor, right? So it's going to be like a good communal and business space. And you can't get into any apartment unless you have one, right? So that'll be exclusive to Planet Beast holders. They can enter the apartment. We can have like little parties, decorate with like statues of the beasts, give a little section to all our partners to shout them out, and just have a good time. Network is an interesting one. They've been kind of silent, and their communication, in my personal opinion, has been kind of subpar. However, they do have a really high quality metaverse being built on Unreal Engine, which is like AAA graphics. Like the graphics are insane. They really look like real life, and some of the best quality I've seen thus far. And they also have a unique mechanic where if you own land, you can build on their land with their own like unique builder, and you can create stuff. And the stuff that you create, you can export as an NFT and then sell it, right? So in a sense, you're monetizing the world and the platform in a similar way to like YouTube. So I can craft my own content like YouTube and then sell my own content. You don't really sell on YouTube, but you get paid for the views. But it's very similar. So you get to have a little like content creation in network, and I think that's really cool. There's also talks floating around where on your network land you can have like a portal that leads to like a separate experience. So if I do end up making like a whole like actual planet of Elementus that everybody can walk around and do different things on, potentially I can have a portal to my land that leads to that on network. So that's really cool. And last but not least, my favorite is TCG World. So TCG World is a really cool up and coming metaverse project. And they do things right, and they do things in a way like that vibe with me very well. They want to be like the good guy project where every single person in the community is just a nice guy, and if anybody comes in with some like negativity, everybody's like, hey, we just don't do that here. We're just good people here. They're super transparent with absolutely everything they do, and they just inked in contract a deal that was listed as the record-breaking metaverse land sale deal currently. Like they had broke the record in metaverse land sales. I think it was like a $4.6 million deal, and that was one of many deals, right? So they're really starting to take off. And also their land is like $400 compared to like Decentraland or Sandbox being 8,000 to $10,000, right? So I say it's the equivalent of Bitcoin in 2010, so on their land, you can build a business. You get a business license to ensure that your business is not like a copy of someone else's, that we don't have a bunch of same, types of businesses out there. And you can build, also, they also have their own builder where you can make your own building. You can import your own like experiences, right? So I'm planning on doing a couple different things like an escape room, maybe like set up like a carnival game next to the festival area they have because they have different types of attractions there, like a roller coaster, festival, volcano, ancient ruins, skiing, fishing, battle arena, public gallery, the beach, like a yacht kind of section, like a port, and many other things, right? So besides that, I'm gonna have a Planet Beast HQ there as well. and it'd be really cool since they can, you can import some experiences like network. Again, just have a home base where we can do some fun things in there. Maybe go out on raids, right? Because you can earn free tokens in there without having to buy land, right? There's just crystals all around. So you can mine the crystals. We can catch creatures. We can have some creature battles. So there's a lot of potential to be done there. I have an idea that if if all goes well, I could potentially ask for a partnership or something of that sort with TCG World. Um, but I'm not gonna have any high hopes until I actually like fill out the form. But yeah, they're a really great project, and they launched their full project in Q3 of this year. So the full metaverse will be open. So look forward to entering that in Q3. Network is in Q4, and East Towers. I don't think they've set a date yet. They're still on their second sale.
I think we lost your audio.
Thank you. I really apologize. I don't know what happened there. I think my headphones like kind of turned off by themselves. Yeah, Ethereum Towers is on their second sale of their towers, and I don't know when the launch date for that is, but essentially, yeah, that was all I had. So yeah, we have Medium articles coming out soon, staking on Pi Protocol, updating the fighting mechanics to make it more expansive, competitive, and fun, and something that people want to come back to. Info on Legacy and the collaboration slash partnership. I'll announce some more when things are actually like set in place and inked out. If you have any suggestions for Eredice and War Tides variations, little art that goes on top of them to make the different NFT styles of each of them, let me know. Um, and yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. So any last minute questions before we conclude? Hope I didn't reset again. Okay. Thank you so much. Like literally, that means absolutely everything to me. I'm just a guy, just like everybody else, but I'm trying my absolute best to make something really unique that we haven't really seen in the NFT space. And being a victim of rug pulls, like why I'm always like, why can't we just have a actual legit project with people who care, right? So I'm trying to be that project, like TCG World. I want to be that good guy project, and I also want to be flexible enough to expand and take on different partnerships and take on different use cases. I don't want to be locked into one thing, right? Because the crypto space is expansive and innovative, and it grows over time, right? So I want to be able to fit that dynamic and arise to the occasion when I need to. Um, it would be awful that I had a great idea and I can't implement it because of the way that I've set everything in stone. So I'm looking forward to all the advancements, and I'm looking forward to get more people in, get more sales in, move the project forward, start hiring some game developers, and turn this dream into a reality. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you for joining. Appreciate all of you. Until next time, see you guys in the Discord. Bye bye.